are reacting to striking claims from FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, who on Tuesday told the press that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu could have secured an APC win in Osun State if he wanted to win. If he wanted to, he would have. And if that were the case, Wike says that he would have been on the ground personally in Osun and he would have made that happen. Those are some bold claims. Let's watch.
I'm sure that if the president wanted to win Osun at all costs, I would be involved and I would have been there. And the governor would have known that it would have been different. Election is not won one day. Election is not one day. Election is a process. You can't just get up in the morning to go and win an election. President is a politician now. So people should not, when they say effort of federal government, what do you see to show that federal government is seriously interested to win this? If colleagues and governors, as of a party, think that by going there, will have a form of influence, it is to the people. I didn't see anything that anybody would tell the federal government did. Do you know what you are talking about if federal government carried influence? Do you not see 2019 influence in the Rivers State election? Where you saw federal might, where the military was fully involved, where women came out naked, carrying their breasts, showing the soldiers, look at our breasts, you wouldn't do anything here today. That's what they say when you see might, military might, federal might. Where you see where military base was turned to collation center. Then when they talk about federal might.
Wike's argument here essentially states that the federal government deliberately stayed out of the election, allowing the Osun State polls to proceed without what he called federal might, rather than deploying political influence to get an APC victory. But remember, it was just last Thursday that a swarm of APC governors were in Osun State at a mega rally to drum up support for the APC candidate. Senate President Godswill Akpabio was there, Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma was there, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu was there, Ondo State Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa, Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun, Kwara State Governor Abdul Rahman Abdul Razak, Edo State Governor Monday Okpebolo, and that is just some of them, not all. And if that's not federal might, then what is? But irrespective, Wike's comments raise a bigger question about Nigerian elections. If political power can determine an outcome if fully deployed, what does that mean for our democracy? And that is the big question we have this morning. So let me just say good morning to the morning show team as always. Good morning, Dr. Abati. Good morning.
Good morning.
Aya. Good morning, Rufai. Rufai, I'll come to you on this first story. But first, I'll take two quick reactions. The first from Chinedu, who says, so he's telling us that Godswill Akpabio, Hope Uzodinma, and 99 other powerful APC members who were fully involved but couldn't deliver don't know the game enough. It's only if he had got involved that the result would have been different. You're not a god, Mr. Wike. Then Felix on Leke Leke says, that statement says a lot about the kind of political influence Wike believes he commands. But power is ultimately measured by what you can deliver, not what you claim you could have done. Rufai, these comments from Wike, I mean, what do you make of them?
While the tape was playing, I was asking Minister Wike a question. You see, when people tell stories, they tell the parts that suits them. With the federal might he claimed they used against him in 2019, who won the election? He should say that part. Did he not win the election? When he was up against the wall and he claimed, yeah, federal might. Did he not win the election? So does it not mean that people can win federal might? That's exactly what happened in Osun State. And you see all of this narrative that they are trying to change. You see, like I said yesterday, Anise, there's something called stages of grief. The first stage is denial. The second stage is anger. It's when you now pass denial and anger, you will now be going to acceptance stage. They have not accepted the defeat yet. It's stages of grief. The first stage of grief they are passing through is the denial. The denial is, oh, we didn't use federal might. If we wanted to win, we would have used federal might. He's denying. They are denying the fact that the federal might failed. So they are using narrative to gaslight people that, there's no way we could have lost. It's the federal might. We didn't use the federal might. Federal might that they boldly used everywhere that we saw. So they are denying that they didn't use the federal might because they used the federal might and it failed. So it's a first stage of grief. Denial. They don't want to accept. They can't fathom that with the over 110 billion as alleged by Davido and all the calling to bring down his tweets that they did and all the influence that they did that it failed. So they cannot accept that Oju Towo 50,000. They cannot accept that Oju to influence. They cannot accept that with the fact that the IREF stopped uploading for 5 hours. They cannot accept that with the fact that they've not ensured that local governments release all this while. Yes. They cannot accept that with all that they did, that the people stood tall and they won. So that denial is still there. So when they are in their stage of grief called denial, then they gaslight people because they can't accept how the federal might failed.
Powerful words from Rufai, and we're going to stay in Osun because, like he said, people online have a lot to say about an explosive new interview from the Afrobeat star and nephew to Governor Adeleke Davido, who's now claiming that the Senate President Godswill Akpabio and the founder of the Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, both personally called him during the elections to delete his posts that implicated Akpabio on social media. Now, Davido made these comments on Tuesday, and the internet is all over it. Let's watch.
I heard the Senate President was trying to call the coalition center. And that is like my godfather, Akpabio.
But you already said
he was calling me. They were calling me to delete. I said, sir, sorry, I don't. Everybody, you guys have literally just gone against my uncle. Like, you know what I'm saying? You guys are seeing this man. I can't delete anything. My uncle Aliko called me to delete. I said, uncle, I'm only deleting. Until INEC announced, I'm only deleting anything.
Now, for context, we have a picture of one of the tweets that Davido posted as he was monitoring the election, where he made a similar allegation. We have a photo of that Davido tweet. If we can just pull it up. There it is. Senate President Akpabio has called the collation center that they should stop collating. But, you know, this interview is, of course, putting the spotlight on how consequential Davido's role was as results were slowly coming out because he was reacting on social media in real time. And, of course, he has many millions of fans. And as the public was privy to the play-by-play on Election Day, throughout this process, they've also been privy to the war of words between Edo State Governor Monday Okpebolo and Governor Adeleke. Well, in this same interview, Davido stated he has zero plans to apologize to Okpebolo after sharing what appeared to be the governor's Wike results online. Let's take a look.
I'm not going to apologize. I didn't do anything wrong. I was just letting people of the state the results their governor has. You understand? You left your state, came to another state to Rigo. First came to Rig, then you come in and then you start talking that my uncle is a dancer, he's not serious. The road to your government house is not done. My uncle is not serious. First of all, you were not even elected. You were selected. You didn't win those votes, sir. Finish your 3 years. We'll visit you when it's time for you to get re-elected.
Strong words. Now, this controversy began after Okpebolo criticized Governor Adeleke, mocking him for his love of dancing and questioning his leadership style. Well, for Davido, posting the alleged Wike results was akin to freedom of information for people to know the governor's academic record. But listen, Davido wasn't all about critiques. He was also adamant about the fact that the people of Osun State, the young people, showed up and gave Nigeria a reason to believe in the country's democracy. So let's play a second from those comments.
Shout out to Osun youths. You guys didn't only give hope to people in Osun. You guys gave hope to the whole Nigeria. Because if this had gone the other way, I think Nigeria would have actually given up on what they call free and fair election.
Now, Ayo, this is a powerful statement about the future of Nigeria, and what Davido expressed about the younger generations was inarguably palpable both online and in person, standing in line at the polling stations. But this was such a big interview. Davido has become so central and critical to the conversations around what happened in Osun State.
It's almost as if he's the governor-elect or the deputy governor, but he's spoken up very.
Who is the deputy governor?
He's a very humble man. That way.
He was actually involved in the process.
Yeah, he was. He was actually there when the result was announced.
I remember that.
And Governor Adeleke brought him out.
And it was received by Babasujo when he came visit.
We are not hearing
There have
a lot of
been
his
criticisms.
name. That's
How many deputy governors do you hear from? The governor shines. The deputy governor steps in when there's a need to.
True that.
But well, the truth is
Please
that
just mention his name so that we give him some due recognition. Talk about his name, please.
all right.
Mr. Dewusi.
Mr. Dewusi.
There you go.
Good.
Right, thank you.
Thank you, Rufai.
Right. Okay, let me talk about Davido's interview.
Yes.
And, earlier on when we were talking about the winners and losers based on the piece by This Day newspaper, just detailing, of course, Davido was one of the winners listed. And in my notes, I'd actually put, I didn't say it earlier, that I believe that in the spirit of sportsmanship, like Dr. Mati had said earlier, he should be magnanimous in victory. However, it should also be an opportunity for truth-telling. Even though he said he didn't delete tweets, he did delete some tweets. He deleted tweets about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and tweets about the APC, based on what his uncle, the governor, said was a phone call saying that they were going to support Tinubu. So it's still a game of politics at the end of the day. But did he play a critical role? Absolutely. I do feel that based on this, they'll be showing him, tongue-in-cheek, they'll be showing Sheyi Tinubu, see your mate, see what he did in Osun State. This is what a son of the house, a young man of the house who can mobilize young people can do. And so, Sheyi Tinubu has a huge task ahead of him based on what Davido has done. But some of the statements he made, giving kudos to the young people in Osun State, absolutely. Earlier on, I said the biggest winners, and which wasn't identified in this day, list are the Osun State people, especially the young people and women. And these are usually groups that come out during elections alone and do not even bring in their bargaining power because of the influence they wield during election season. And so this is a rallying call just to double down on what Davido, who has shown himself as the leader of the youths in Osun State, that the elections in 2027 could very well be decided by you, young people in Nigeria. You already hold the ace in your hands because you make up the highest number in terms of PVCs collected, registered voters, and the population of Nigeria. Also, the future belongs to you. And so you cannot just sit down on Twitter, on X, on social media and complain alone. It is time for you to put your words into action. I've heard many of them saying, I'm not coming out for the elections, I'm not interested, but you have to be interested in the elections. This is your future. And so I'm hoping that what Osun State has demonstrated, like Davido had mentioned, would be a boost to them to come out and have confidence in the process again.
Absolutely. Young people need to be involved. It's your country and your future. But speaking of Okpebolo, a young man in Edo State is now trending after a video came out on Tuesday showing a very chaotic roadside scene. Now, in this clip, the man stands by a major truck accident where hundreds of drinks have spilled and scattered on the ground, blatantly saying that this is the same road that Governor Monday Okpebolo used to go to Osun State to campaign for the APC candidate. Let's take a look.
15 trillion naira, where the money they go? If we carry all those road, money do this road now, this road don't go good. Okpebolo, now here you pass go Osun State, oh. Now here you pass go Osun State. You go pass and come back again. I wish that today they come back when you can see. Your state no road, straight to now they do. I don't call that for me, Jare.
And as conversations develop around the lessons learned from Osun's elections, former President Goodluck Jonathan is weighing in, writing in a detailed X post on Tuesday that it's not normal for groups of governors or senior party leaders to all troop into a state and campaign on behalf of a candidate during elections. He writes in part on X, "The practice where serving governors and other functionaries accompanied by aides raises an issue that demands national attention. The conduct witnessed around the elections in Osun, Ekiti, and Ondo was, in my view, unusual. There's a point at which mobilization, particularly when it involves the overwhelming presence of serving governors, senior officials, and powerful political actors, can create an atmosphere of apprehension, intimidation, bullying, and undue pressure. What happens when each party seeks to match political power with political power, governmental influence with governmental influence, and mobilization with counter-mobilization? The former president went on to call on the National Peace Committee to provide a platform to figure out the standards that will protect Nigeria's democracy, because in his eyes, what the country saw in Osun, Ekiti, and Ondo should not be replicated anywhere else. And Dr. Abati, I'll come to you on these stories, but meanwhile, it comes as key presidential candidates, including Nigeria Democratic Congress presidential candidate Peter Obi and African Action Congress Omoyele Sowore, officially signed the National Peace Accord on Tuesday in Abuja. Now, President Tinubu was represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, all of them affirming that Nigeria must move forward in peace and harmony. It comes as Obi went even further, calling on all Nigerians to reject any candidate who so much as breaks this accord. And, you know, within the last 2 hours, Obi also did a post on X where he said those seeking to be addressed as His Excellency must behave excellently, which I thought was interesting. But Abati, it's a lot, but your take on all of these stories.
Okay, yes, I agree with Mr. Peter Obi that those who seek to be addressed as His Excellency should act excellently. But has that been the case in Nigeria? But as some kind of admonition, as some kind of expectation, that is in order. We expect the highest possible standards of behavior, of conduct, of comportment from those who seek to lead us. After all, the mantra is that it's better to lead by example. When you lead by example, then of course the followership can take a cue in that regard. And as for the peace accord, yes, of course, I commented on this earlier on. That when the National Peace Committee was established in 2014, ahead of the 2015 general elections, it was within the context of the threats abroad at the time by members of the opposition that the country will be burnt down if victory was won by the incumbent People's Democratic Party government at that time. And it was on the back of that elder statesmen and women, leaders, voices of reason, leaders of thought, came together and set up that National Peace Committee with General Abdulsalami Abubakar as the chairman. I already listed some of the names of persons who were there. I don't want to repeat myself. And that National Peace Committee has been very consistent since then in making sure that every election cycle, people are reminded to be of the best conduct, to give democracy a chance, to conduct a peaceful process, just as President Goodluck Jonathan had already also again amplified. Now, his point is that in Osun State, he commended the process in Osun State, that it was peaceful. But one of the things he pointed out that, he rather condemned, that he found unusual, even if there have been instances in the past, 2013, 2014, which he discouraged immediately as president, is this idea of 22 governors, 57 lawmakers, all living different parts of the country, all abandoning Abuja and trooping to one place where election is starting and then driving all over the city. Absolute waste of money. You needed to have seen the parade, both the political parade, the military parade, the paramilitary parade. Okay, that of the military and paramilitary ahead of the Osun election. You can perhaps understand where they're coming from, just to let the people know, that we are on the ground and we will not tolerate any kind of impunity. But how about people from Edo who were parading on the streets of Osogbo?
Right.
Including some, what did I call them? Hype men.
Yes.
Hype men.
Shouting all over the street and all that.
Yes.
I once, as I said, I hope some of these people have wives at home.
I'm sure they do.
Because I was surprised. One fellow, what's his name again? Emmanuel? Or what do they call him?
It's a lucrative job.
Essay to the governor.
Essay to the governor.
Yeah, they probably...
It's a lucrative job.
Probably.
To be a hack man.
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
You've been one before.
Okay.
But in any case, the gentleman who was criticizing Governor Okwebolo, saying, oh, he traveled on this road to Osun. That's a federal road.
Yes.
That's a federal road. It's not the responsibility of Governor Okwebolo to go and be reconstructing federal road.
Okay.
So that criticism was misplaced.
Okay.
But his point about roads being in good condition so that there will be no accidents, okay, that's admissible.
Absolutely.
But it's not Okwebolo's fault that the road is in bad condition.
And
federal road.
That's an important distinction, but that scene was just incredible. All those bottles on the floor. But listen, as we talk about governors, let's head to Ogun State, where Governor Dapo Abiodun, along with Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, officially launched the National Community Food Bank on Tuesday, with the First Lady fully leaning into her role as Mother of the Nation. During the event in Shagamu, food items were distributed to families in need, with the First Lady seen holding and embracing some of the program's smallest recipients. Let's take a look. Rufai, this is all part of the federal government's social intervention work to support families struggling with food insecurity, and there's a lot of them. According to the UN, about 35 million in Nigeria. But this video of, the First Lady holding babies has captured the public's attention. What are we to make of the story?
Babies are a huge constituency, and they always melt my heart. So, but let's now extend it further. Yes, social impact programs, okay, for food are good, but what's the sustainability threshold?
Right.
And you see, we need to also have a country where we have availability of food. We had a professor come to talk about post-harvest losses alone, Professor Ken Ife, and what we are losing in that area. The food ecosystem, the food inflation, the fact that most parents cannot be able to afford food. It's a big problem. The fact that as we speak today, trying to eat 3 square meals is already above minimum wage threshold. Nigeria Bureau of Statistics was talking about the fact that it will cost you about 1,500 to be able to have food that have all of the balanced nutrient grades and all of that. I want to use the word the balanced diet. And if you have 3 square meals of that, that's close to 5,000. Then extrapolate that by 30 days. Definitely, you see that's more than the 70,000 minimum wage. So you still have a very big problem. There's a lot of food insecurity,
right,
occasioned by insecurity factor, economic factor, drought factor, inflationary factor, other societal factor, and that's why you see that collectively, a lot of Nigerians have been pushed into food poverty. Over 62% of the population live in abject poverty, and these are challenges. And schemes like this are not far-reaching enough, because how many people can you cover? So we need to have a system where people are given the economic fecundity in such a way that they can go to the market and actually buy food for themselves and feed themselves.
Absolutely.
But this is a laudable one. Kudos to them.
Yes, absolutely. But like Rufai said, it's all about sustainability. Can this be sustained long term? This next story has Nigeria's police force under serious scrutiny, with people reacting to a clip where alleged officers barge into a woman's compound in Lagos and try to force her to go to the Labasa police station. The woman, identified as Diamond, emotionally demands them about how they got into her home in the first place, insisting that she never received any official invite to the station. Let's take a look at this interaction that's dominating conversation right now.
You have to do whatever.
Well, who are you? Who are you, sir? Who are you?
Can you relax?
How did you get into my compound?
Don't worry.
Why did you break into my door?
Why did you break into your door?
Okay, sir, I'm here. I'm listening. I'm listening.
Understand?
Yeah, video.
I'm listening.
Hey, you can come outside.
I can't come outside. Talk to me.
You can come outside.
I can't come outside. Talk to me. Why are you here?
There's a petition against your person.
From where?
Understand?
From petition from who?
Show you the petition.
No, you can see I'm here. You can hear me.
We don't want to.
Who is the person that petitioned me? Then you guys broke into my apartment.
Broke into your apartment. Your maid opened that door. Understand?
Yeah.
Your maid opened that door. So you just.
So why are you backing in my passage?
Nobody is back. We are knocking for you to come.
Did you send me the petition? Did you send me the petition on WhatsApp? I didn't come.
They have sent you several invitations.
Nobody sent me invitation. Nobody sent me invitation. Send me an invitation or maybe call me. I would have come. The last time I honored the invitation. Why did you just track me like that? I should come out. No female police officer, nothing.
People have been tagging the Nigeria police force on X, but the force has not officially responded to this video yet. But what's really striking to the public are the paper ID cards labeled Nigeria police with close-ups revealing no names, no force numbers, or official markings, raising questions around who these men really are. Now, Dr. Abati, I'll come to you on this and Rufai on this story, but I'll take this reaction from Teddy first, who says, they were initially polite, which is really difficult to see in Nigeria. They showed you their ID card, and you were just running your mouth and shouting as if they're your mate. If your conscience is clear and you've done nothing wrong, the best is to ask what station they're from. Then SND says, in any civilized country, a police officer cannot simply break into someone's home without following due process. If they intend to arrest someone, they should have a valid warrant or lawful grounds to do so. What is happening in Nigeria? Why does it seem like the rule of law is being disregarded so casually? Dr. Abati?
Okay, this is part of the problem we have in Nigeria. The gentleman who was saying, oh, they came, they were polite, you should have followed them to the station in Nigeria. So that they will take her to the den of kidnappers. Because those people, they look like kidnappers. Although nobody can say categorically that this is how kidnappers look. But we can jump to any assumption because they are not even in uniform. People just look like they were just they were straining in another direction from a beer parlor, going to a woman's house and say she's wanted at the station. He even has toothpick in his mouth. Look at him. Toothpick. It's coming from a pepper soup joint. If I were in the woman's shoes too, I would not follow. I would not follow them. So the woman acted well, because again, this is public education for everybody. The police, they've already given phone numbers that if you have any problem with the police, call this number. You can even call the Inspector General of Police directly. But I'm not sure that woman even remembered any phone numbers because nobody trusts the police. Even the IGP's number will not go through. This is not an identity card. So anybody can just go to a business center, print a paper, identity card, and come and be brandishing it. I think that the woman should just have called on neighbors, call a whole crowd on top of their head, as they say in Yoruba language. So that other people can be involved. And even if she follows them, then there will be about 20, 30 people following. That's the only kind of protection that she can have.
Let's highlight this video of the Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Diso, who recently celebrated his 30th wedding anniversary by singing to his wife. Now, in this video, Diso is seen holding a mic, singing every word of the popular song Iyawo Mi by Timi Dakolo. Let's watch.
I will love you forever. Ìyàwó mi, olólùfẹ́ mi, ọ̀rẹ́ mi àlàyé mi. I will love you forever.
So cute. We love love on the morning show, right?
We have a romantic Inspector General.
We do.
You know, when he was promoted, this was how he also serenaded his mother. And now it is the wife.
That's lovely.
Two very important women in his life.
Absolutely.
Truly romantic. Maybe he's also a poet.
He might be.
Yes.
He's a poet.
Tunji, my lover.
He's a romantic. He's a Tunji, my lover. He's a people's person. He's a people's person. We disagree on it, but he's a solid guy, solid man, very good man.
He gives a positive image of the policeman.
He does.
Unlike those peppers who join policemen.
Very educated, very aware. You know, I'm not saying it's perfect too.
Yes.
It doesn't mean we'll not fight over some things tomorrow, but it's a good representative. But let me talk about the police situation. Obviously, you know that those are scam police. I think next time when she like your chatter is ole.
Right.
They will run.
Absolutely. I mean, all of these stories kind of just highlighting the different issues that Nigerians face on a daily basis. But let's now turn to our milestone report, where this week, Africa and the world are remembering the life of former United Nations Secretary General Kofi Annan, who passed away on August 18, 8 years ago, a giant of international diplomacy whose legacy of peace and cooperation continues to inspire today. Born on April 8, 1939 in Kumasi, Ghana, Annan spent more than 4 decades working within the UN system, eventually becoming the organization's 7th Secretary General in 1997, making history as the first from sub-Saharan Africa. Now, during his time at the UN, he championed multilateral cooperation, human rights, and sustainable development, while pushing for diplomatic solutions to some of the world's most challenging conflicts. His leadership also helped advance major development initiatives, including the Millennium Development Goals. After leaving the UN, he continued his peace and humanitarian work, establishing the Kofi Annan Foundation, which works to advance democracy and international cooperation. Years after his passing, his legacy is still incredibly relevant, especially his belief that peaceful dialogue must always come before confrontation, a lesson we can all implement in our lives. May his soul rest in peace. Let's take our good news report now, a story of Nigerian academic excellence with Adebanjo Samuel Oluolamide,